How are you guys doing? I was just doing research for today's conversation, and I was just laughing out loud. So today's going to be a little bit lighter because yesterday was heavy. If you did the exercise from yesterday, it probably hit home. It did for me. That's why I filmed it, because I was like, I know that this is going to be probably kind of emotional. I saved the part where I had I didn't have a full-blown meltdown at the end, but I did feel like a weight released. And it also helped me to just talk through with myself the things that do weigh me down and just to kind of shine a light on them. So if you did that exercise yesterday, kudos to you. If you did not, go do your best today, and just, like I always say this, don't see the weekend as a time where you unravel or you derail. See your weekend as a time to reset and recalibrate and catch up and do the things that you really want to do. So if you missed yesterday for whatever reason, or you did not do yesterday's exercise, and it can be, you can make it your own way. You don't have to go find rocks and have a cliff in your backyard. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I can't imagine doing that at the Disney house. They would have called security. But but one thing, my grandmother taught me this. She used to do that at night. She would say, Angie, you picture what is bothering you and visualize yourself putting it into a little bag and tying a bow and throwing it. And she said sometimes I even get up from my bed and I'll pretend to throw it. So you can do it just in your mind too. You don't have to go get a bunch of rocks. But what I did yesterday is I actually wrote on one side of the rock in as short and as positive of a connotation as I could for each of them of what I feel is weighing me down, whether it's, and we're going to talk about it today. We're going to go back into that today. And like I said, I will always spill the tea and share all of the beans in terms of not just products coming up, but in terms of what's going on in my life with real life examples. So what I did on the rock is I put that feeling or that emotion. And then on the flip side, I put my truth, what is the actual truth though? So hopefully it hit home with you guys. I just want to make sure I can see you guys on, but I can't see your comments until hi. I love that you guys all say hi to each other. That's so cute. Love it. So cute. And also congratulations to everybody on, because this is the day when people start to drop off. So stick with it, recording or live if you can. I'm trying to do them at different times every single day, but also glow up, green juice. I'm doing a green juice every single day. I pretty much do the same green juice every single day. I do on an empty stomach, and it does not hurt my tummy. I do celery, cucumber, a little bit of pineapple, just to make it taste a bit better. That being said, celery and cucumber they're not gross. A little bit of pineapple, half a lemon, and some turmeric. That's my green juice. And then the other half of it is in the fridge for Andre. And Carl's home. Do you want to say hello? No. You're the one that's... The word HERE triggers him, and the word home triggers him. Do you want to say hi? Okay. I don't want to move him. He seems comfortable. Can you hear the chipmunks chirping? You want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. I got a little haircut.
There we go. Now everybody has seen Carl. He's doing great. Okay. So today we're going to keep going. I don't think that today's going to be as intense, but you might have, listen, every day is going to be intense. My goal is not to make you cry every single day, but if it happens, it happens. So today we're talking about part of the underlying stuff that's weighing us down and continuing on from yesterday, but in a different way. If there is people in your life that it can be good or bad, but you just feel I don't know how else to say it, but they live rent-free in your head, and you wish that they didn't, but they either bother you, you might be a little bit jealous potatoes of them, or just more so how do you have that? Not necessarily jealous, but WTF, why is she backpacking through Europe? Or not why is she going on a 5-star resort tour through Europe? What the hell? Or how is this person doing that? Or it can be anybody. But let's do 3 people. And like I said, it can be good or bad, where you're ugh, I'm annoyed by you, but I'm maybe a little bit jealous potatoes. Let's call it jealous potatoes. Maybe they're just better at something that you really want to do. It could be something simple, but it could be someone that you're oh, I'm just not a fan. And spill your guts, guys. I'll give you examples of like things that I've witnessed in my real life. Like literally this week, when I was in Disney, I was telling someone about a TikToker that I follow, and they're like, "Oh, she's not genuine at all." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I like her. I didn't. Sorry, never mind." And I was like, "We're just not going to talk about it." But it can be people online. It can be people in real life. It can be celebrities. Whoever. Spill your beans. If you can hear Carl scratching, congratulations, Melissa. I think a lot of people are going to be right behind you or right alongside you. All right. So if you have your 3 people, write them out in the comments if you want to. You don't have to. But people that you're looking at their life and you're like, I wish that I had that, or it can be feelings that are good or feelings that are bad. But let's just say 3 people that live rent-free in your head. So one person forever, and I actually got past it, but one person that forever I was like, and you guys are gonna laugh whenever I tell you this is such an honest moment, but I was like, not like I like her, but I was like, kind of, you know what I mean? Girls, we all do it. I love Macy Blackwell, but I was like, 1, queen of Halloween. 2, she's so good at short form content, and I feel like, at least I feel like I suck at short form content. Look at me, I can't even do a 5-minute video. Like I'm not meant for short form content. And forever, I was like, how is she so good at this? Well, the answer is she's been doing it for like probably 10 plus years. But that is an example of someone that like, I don't necessarily know her, would love to know her, but I was like, oh, love her decorations. So jealous. She's so good at content. Things like that. It can be someone from school. It can be, oh, thank you. It can be me if you want to. It's fine. This might be a fun example. Yes. Okay. So sometimes siblings or like cousins or distant relatives or like family friends, you're like, I feel like the line of the year, the line of the past since 2020, I feel like all of us we're like, does no one work anymore? Like people will be at the beach midday. I'm like, what is happening? So if you do that, totally normal. Like we're here, we're in a calming circle together. So name your people, pick 3. So for each of those, so this is step 2. You gonna lie down? Do you wanna lie down on the blanket maybe? Look, Daddy made this. You wanna lie down on a nice cut? No.
Here you go. Okay. Say, hi everyone. I'm gonna go in my blanket.
You chill, okay? There you go. Good man. Good man. You gonna lie down? Good boy. He likes the daily grind blankets, which is good. You go, dude. All right. So for step 2, out of these 3 people, for each of them, let's list them out. And then next to them, I want you to write out what you feel you know about that person, that you're like, this is what's triggering me or triggering the fact that they live rent-free in my head. Maybe they've done something to you. Maybe you're just like, what is their life? And I want their life. Or maybe they're, like I said, maybe they're just better at TikTok than you are. But what is the things or thing that you're like, what in the actual that I'm like, I want that. And that has you frustrated and they live rent free in your head. And you look at their content or I'm going to date myself. I was going to say their Facebook photo album. Do you remember when that was a thing? But their photos, or you see them on real life, or like you see a story that they post. So I feel like a lot of this stems from online stuff. I'm kind of well, we're going to come back to that. But what are the things that you feel make you think about that person in a certain way that you're like, I wish I had that, good or bad? Like I said, it can be like family members where you're like, they're completely monopolizing my mom and dad's time, or what. It can be anything. It can be a neighbor. It can be a toxic friend that you're like, oh, stop. Like anything. And this is a place to bare your soul. You guys, you can talk shit about me if you want to. It's all right. I might cry on camera. No, I'm just kidding. Monica, you don't want to say the name? Now I'm curious. So yeah, a lot of people, like when we follow content creators and whatnot,
Excuse me. There we go. You lie down. He's fidgety today.
I don't know if you could hear me, he was licking his paws.
Just lie down. Just lie down. It's because I'm on camera, right?
So what do you feel that you know about them that makes you feel a certain way versus for each of these people? And just, you can either think about it or you can write in the comments for each of these people, what do you actually know about their life? And that's the kicker. Because you think things or you assume things and you're like, I don't know. So for me, I was like, maybe I'll just keep using Macy as an example. So I feel like for her, I was like, one, how does she afford all of the decorations? And then she moved to like a big house. I'm like, what is this? The answer is she works her ass off and she's very good at TikTok and it pays dearly. Like, I love the comments under her videos of people being like, how do you afford all this? I'm like, do you know how much TikTokers make? Like, a lot of freaking money. That's what, and they're like, what does your husband do? I showed Andre that. So there was a person, it was probably a guy, that was like, sorry, we accept all, but I'm just saying, guys on the internet are fascinating. Guys on the internet are meaner than women on the internet, I feel sometimes. So a guy said, well, what does your husband do for a living to afford all that? I'm like, who says it's her husband? Like that's an assumption. So what are things that you actually know about that person? Hopefully that's already helping you. So that would be step 2 is, what are the things at the top of mind that when you think about that person, you're like, oh, and it's things that you feel you know versus what do you actually know about that person? So, oh my gosh, I want to read these as you guys are. It can totally be in a positive way. And Bonnie, do not worry. Tiffany, same. What does your husband do? Well, little old me, I was churning butter in the kitchen. Come on. So, what I was doing research for whenever I started this, I said I was doing a bit of research. So last night I watched, can I tell you guys, if you are stumped on this, you've probably already started because I feel like I'm a little bit behind, but I have not started my Halloween movie watching list yet. And yesterday I've started decorating. It looks phenomenal. We have a different railing. It's so good. So I'm like, what movie do I start with? Like, what do I kick off the season with? And I start going through like the movies that I own on Apple, and it came to me. I was like, duh. So I watched Practical Magic yesterday. I actually had like a movie watching night and I decorated. So in the movie, I laughed out loud because I knew what we were talking about today, and I was dying laughing because there's a scene where the police officer goes into the town with the townspeople, and he's basically like, what's the deal with the Owen sisters? And I was dying. I was like, this is so real life. Like, this is literally social media, but like in Practical Magic. I went back to list all the things that they said. They're like, well, we're not saying that they killed him, but like maybe they shook his hand and he's just gonna disappear. Or they have a placenta bar. They cook placenta and that's why they don't age. Like, all the rumors and all the assumptions about them and like the dark magic and all the stuff. She probably just shook his hand and like got really sick and then died. What? So, oh, you did? Okay, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, and yes, I need to watch Megan. Is that what you're saying? Yes, I love Megan. So, the assumptions. That would be step 3, is what patterns across all of these are you seeing? So, if there's a pattern of they're posting their highlight reel and you're maybe like assuming based off of the highlight reel of their life, or you're like, oh crap, I actually don't know very much at all. Or maybe they work behind the scenes and you're like, I actually have no idea how they've done it. And I think what it can do is it can uncover what you're feeling about all 3 people and what it says about yourself, about those comparisons, and what it says about myself. And I'll just use me as like the guinea pig. What it says about me, about like the one example that I did give you, is like, clearly I want that. Like, I want to be able to not always have to film long form content. And I would love to just decorate and film a short form video and be able to get better at that. But it is a skill. And in no world should I be like, well, it's easier. It's easier in the sense that it's shorter, so it's less time consuming, but it's more time consuming because of the editing and the skills and the learning and the effort that goes into it. So what that says about me is, well, I think that's something that I want. And I just maybe need to get better at it. And here's one thing that I'll tell you, and I learned this so long ago. If there is somebody that you are jealous potatoes of in a positive way, if the person is toxic, then cut them out of your life. And we're going to talk about that in the remainder of this month. Like, we're going to get really deep into this. But if the person, you're just jelly potatoes of them, the last thing you want to do is put your blinders on and ignore them. I have heard so many people say, well, put your blinders on and focus on you. So what, you're going to ignore the person that you're admiring because you're a little bit jealous of their life? Because if it's in your line of sight, that means that it's in your realm of possibility. So why would you put a blinder on and be like, I don't want to see that dream life that I kind of want. Nope, don't want to see it. How stupid. If I would, could you imagine if I would have been like, nope, I'm not going to visit Golden Oak because I really want to live there and I don't want to see that neighborhood because it's making me sad and I don't want to go there. The reason why, do you know that how we came to have that house was that we got an email from an assistant of a realtor in Orlando. And she said, I want to take you. I saw your video about your goal. I want to take you to see a couple of the houses. And I emailed back and I said, absolutely not. Like, it is not in my realm of possibility right now. I don't want to be a tire kicker. I feel like that's so tacky. I don't want to do that. And she said, it would be my honor. Like, please. So we were in town and they said, we'll meet you at the Four Seasons. It was 4 people. 4 people. And I was like, Andre, this is so embarrassing. Like, we can't afford these houses. Like, this is not going to happen. This is never going to happen. And it's funny, one of the realtors that was there is now like one of my best friends. And they toured us around the houses. They showed us the Four Seasons houses, first of all, which still to this day is like, yeah, right. But could you imagine if we wouldn't have gone? Because seeing it made it real. It made it tangible. And what happened, I'll just tell you guys the full story. Toured the neighborhood. I liked a lot of the houses, but the Four Seasons houses are like McMansions. And I was like, first of all, it's huge. They're cool, but like, that's what we kept saying. We're like, all the houses are really cool, but they're not, I'll just tell you what we said. They're not beautiful. That's what we kept saying. We're like, they're cool, but they're not beautiful. I don't need like a Mickey Mouse themed house. So they were really cool. And I just so freaking badly wanted to live there because I knew the neighborhood was like, it looks like, Pleasantville, you know the movie Pleasantville, or like the Truman Show. And as a kid, that always fascinated me, and I always wanted to live in Seaside, Florida, because of those movies. And it literally looks like a set of a movie. It's like perfection. So all that to say, we tour the neighborhood. I'm so frustrated because I'm like, I want to live here, but I don't like, none of these houses are that. I'm not feeling the feels. And then we go into the sales center with our now best friend, and she said, well, we're building these smaller houses that are we're ending the neighborhood with this, and they're going to be little jewel boxes of houses, and they're going to be really special. And we're doing one that's like a Cape Cod theme. And I was like, that's it, done. And because they were smaller, it was doable at the time. I think if it was to be what it turned out being a great investment, but if it would be today, the price it is today, there's no way. I think we were at the right place at the right time. Yeah, Megan, for sure. But all that to say, had I never gone, we would have never had the conversations. We would have never been able to figure it out and find a way to do it. So on that note, what assumptions are not worth your energy? What assumptions are you maybe making based off of someone else? And that's what I wanted to come back to, was the practical magic thing. Like, it's wild to me how truthful that is, and how much the world that we live in, at least, and when you see certain comments under people's videos, or you hear things about them online, like maybe a friend says it to you or whatever. And by the way, if you have a friend that's like spewing that much negative energy, maybe take a breather, because I'm speaking from experience. But if you see these patterns of things that are said that we truly believe, and this is what blows my mind with I feel like the age that we're in and the generation that we're in, things are said or believed online, and it's taken as gospel because it's one person's opinion. And they say it, they truly, in their mind, they believe it as fact. Like, Angie churns butter all day in her kitchen and she doesn't even have a job. I'm not saying that anybody said that, but I'm giving an example. Someone will say that with their full heart and believe it, and then count themselves out of being like, I can't achieve anything. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So it's fascinating to me that, oh, Krista, that is your homework for today. My goal for today is really to kind of open your eyes to what stories in your mind are you thinking about these people? Who do you actually need to cut out? Like, what's actually toxic, and what are you toxicifying to yourself? Like, what are you cutting out for yourself that you shouldn't be? And what are you believing that you shouldn't be believing? So I think that it's fascinating to be able to just take a step back and be like, what are the patterns of the things that I believe? What are complete assumptions that are probably not even true? Oh my gosh, I think it was so funny. There's like multiple people right now. I don't know where this started, but it's an example of like, I'm like, what is this tall tale? I think that's what I replied. There was a couple comments yesterday of like, is it true you can only decorate 10 days before Christmas in Disney? I was like, no. And so I think that that's what happens too, is sometimes we either take something that someone says and it's taken out of context and then we believe that to be true, or they never said it at all and we've said it enough times that we believe it as gospel. So I think that these are just light examples, but they could be way more deep and way more grand examples in your life that you are selling yourself short because you're believing something that someone told you about someone else, or you're believing what you told yourself about someone else, or that person is mistreating you and you're allowing it. So I think that, that's something that you kind of have to look inwards and to stop putting blinders on for the good things and maybe throw a couple things off a cliff like yesterday. Not people, rocks. So yeah, I think that the assumptions, and if you think about it for yourself, would people have assumptions about you? And you'd be like, that's so far from reality. Like, it's hilarious to me whenever people tell me things that they thought about me. I'm like, oh, you're way off, like way off. But you might feel that, you could have a sister-in-law that thinks things about you, or a brother-in-law, or a brother, or a parent, or a friend that assumes things about you. And you're like, oh, you're so off. How off are you on people that you might be judging or thinking about? Like, are you assuming that they have a placenta bar? So that's your homework. Figure out your 3 people, get really, really honest. And I think the biggest question is, if you were to gauge all of the answers of like the assumptions that you're making about those 3 people, what does it actually say about yourself? And just remember, they're living their life. You're building yours. You don't need to know their whole story. Frankly, it doesn't matter if you're inspired by them or you want to see less of them or whatnot. Just figure that out for yourself. Your energy doesn't belong to someone else. It belongs to the life that you're creating, not the assumptions of somebody else. So try and focus on you, focus on the things that make you happy. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure that you comment down below with your epiphanies and your aha moments for today, and make sure that you're caught up on everything. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, dudes.